Hello, fellow traders. This is Markus Maria speaking, and I just thought that I will redo the video for the indicator test. Something I want to address here is that, we don't want to replace our trading by indicators. It was just a request by some few newbie traders who struggle with market structure, finding order blocks, and so on. They contacted us and asked if there are actually indicators which could help when it comes to our trading concept, the smart money concept, in fact, and which made us consider, of course, if there is a few things available also to test. And I did a few tests, and the indicators you can see here, of course, you cannot have them at the moment because they are custom. We created them only for this purpose in order to see if it could work out, if they could help with certain things like market structure, like order blocks and so on. And if they do, we are happy to provide them, of course. But if they just would, further confuse you, we would not provide them. And also, if the backtesting shows it doesn't work out at all, it's not our goal to provide you just something. Our goal is to provide you things you benefit and add value to what you currently already do and learn. And that's the main purpose behind that. And that's the reason why I ask you to be a little bit patient, please. And also don't be disappointed if we don't provide any of those, because they might not be of value in the end. It just looks good in the beginning and you never know. That's why you need backtesting and so on. So I decided to actually now redo the test. I just scroll a little bit back, but not too far back, because it doesn't help if you're in a complete consolidation zone for weeks like you're here. However, let's take a few examples. I maybe start from here. For this test, what you first would be looking for is the colored arrows. They just indicate in what bias you're currently in. You can see there is no real bias at the moment because you are in the kind of consolidation area. However, I'm not saying you cannot take these signals, because they might work and sometimes they do, we will see. But here, for example, you have two which would not work. Hence, we would just have a look, you get an error like this one, and you would check, did this arrow here, this colored one, break a black dot, And in this case, it did, but it returned quite early, in fact. So you could consider it. If we have a look, I would not be trading this time anyway because it's midnight. So let's have a look. Let's say the red arrow here, it broke this black dot, And can you spot an order block now above this broken dot? You could. Hopefully it's this one. Now you can see if this trade would have worked out or not. It would more or less be a scalping trade. I would not have taken it because it's not my trading time. However, it could have worked out, let's say it that way. But there is also one which would not work. You have a green arrow in this case. Did this green arrow break a black dot? It would be this one. No, it didn't, so you would not consider it. But then you get a red arrow again, which means market structure has shifted for this time frame again. And what it basically or mainly indicates that it broke some lows on the left side, internal lows, and in this case it then also broke an external low, which is a swing low. And so you could probably say, well, I got this alert. Now I want to have a look. Did it break something? Yes. Not something. Did it break a black dot? Yes, it did. And you would have a look for the order block above it, which is again this one. would consider this one here. You can see this one would not have worked out. And as always, I think there is nothing that works 100%. And then you get a new signal, and you have a look if a black dot is broken with this signal, and yes, it is. So you would have a look for the order block below this, and it would be a quite big order block, so it would not be worth to trade it when the price already returns. So it would be on your decision, or you would switch on lower time frame. But in this case, it would not help either way because it broke through it here, as you can see. So it would be another loss. And then we got another signal, which is a far better signal because it broke down, a little bit more aggressive. You can see price broke down, you got the signal, and now you want to have the order blocks above the breakoff structure in this case, because this indicates bias change. You would have a look here. In this case, you can see I also worked on an order block finder, kind of. So you have this order block here, which was highlighted by the order block finder. This is the gray area. You also have here a gray arrow here and here. You can see it highlights order blocks. Not all kinds of order blocks, but some. So it's again just a kind of assistance for you. You should not trade those things directly. You should consider the concept we provide to you, and this should all just be small little helpers in the end if they work out, to train your eyes that you can see, oh, there's the gray arrow highlighted what seems to be an order block. Why is this an order block? And again, it's not highlighting all kinds of order blocks, just some kinds. But still, it could be a helper for the beginning. And now you can see the price did not come up to the extreme order block in this point at this area. But more experienced traders would also see that there is an order block here, this one, on a lower time frame. And it's also above the breaker structure. So it was mainly broken here. So this could be traded actually if you want to. That you get a second entry. Maybe you would say this is your first entry, this would be a second entry, and the second entry, the extreme, was not hit. However, this was not really obvious. But again, we could take our SMC Fibonacci zone and have a look. Actually, to really simplify it, we could just say it's 60 to 80. That's the zone where we want to actually have a kind of optimum trade entry, where if there is an order block, it should be preferred. And then you have the extreme as a second entry, which means you might have two entries actually. And in this area, you can see the optimum trade entry area, the SMC zone. You would have this order block, which was not obvious to you. Maybe also not to me. I don't know it because it's hindsight, so it's always easy to say. However, there was a good chance for a trade. And then what we have a look next is, when does the next error appear, which tells us market structure might have shifted again. And we can see it here. It's the green arrow telling, okay, market structure has shifted, but did it also break a black dot? Yes, it broke this one. Okay, and now we got no order block highlighted, but this one I already talked about in the previous. No, I did not talk, I just showed it, but it's a consolidation area. So in fact, you would have this area as your order block. But not only, you would also have this one here. And you would even have a very extreme one here, which was somehow mitigated, but sometimes you don't know. However, this would be two areas which would be interested in, and maybe you can spot this area as well, where you also had a reaction afterwards, but it's not below, the break of structure. It's not below the break of the black dot, so I would not consider this for the moment. And if we have a look for the SMC zone, let's do it that way, you can again see that this consolidation area or the block is within the SMC zone, which is to be preferred from my point of view. And then as a second entry, you would have the extreme order block. So then we are looking for the next indication that there might be a market structure shift, which we had here. Now, did this break a black dot? Yes, it did. It broke this one. So we have a look for order blocks in this down move, which are above the break. And again, we can see here there's a consolidation zone. So we would go for this one. And then you would have a extreme order block as well. This one. All right, then we continue. Oh, we don't continue. You see, we have marked up this one, and this one would have worked out. And you can see, can spot here a gray arrow, which indicates there is an order block. You would not trade it right away because it just highlighted it's an order block. No other topics. Same here, highlighted for an order block here and here. I just want to highlight a little bit that we also concentrate a little bit on the order block finder. So in this case, we would wait for the next indication, which is this one. Did this one break a black dot? No, it didn't. So we don't consider it. Then we are looking for the next indication, which is this one. Did this break a black dot? Well, that's up to you, but wicks, I already said, would not break structure. This is a kind of manipulation, liquidity grab, and so on. So it's not a break of structure. We would not consider that. However, you can see here, order block was highlighted, which would have maybe worked out. Order block was highlighted, which is an obvious order block, but did not work out well. No, it did not work out. And you can see there's a lot of order blocks, which are kind of obvious, but that doesn't mean that the order block itself works out. You have to consider also all the other topics when it comes to order blocks, like the order block checklist, in order to see if it can actually work out for you. Now we have did we have this one? We have an indication it did not break any black dot. We have this indication, it was all internal structure, did not break any black dot. So we continue. We have this indication, did not break. We have this indication, and now we have the situation that the black dot is broken. Again, this is not my trading time, so I would not have taken it. And it's again more or less a consolidation area. We probably don't take it anyways. And then we have this zone above, which is the most obvious one for the moment. It's also the extreme. There's nothing in between, but you can see it would have worked out. And then we have another kind of indication here, which broke this black dot. It even highlighted you now this two order blocks, which can be considered. It's nice if they work out, but sometimes they don't. So you can mark up both, in fact. Have again two entries if you want to, trade 1, trade 2. Trade 2 would not have triggered, trade 1 would have. You can see it would have worked out. So the next one is this one, the signal or indication. Did it break the black dot? No, it didn't. So we have the next one. Did this one break a black dot? No, it did not. And then we come here. You have this one. Did this one break? Yes, it broke a black dot. This one. Now we have an order block indicated. Could be this one, so why not take it? Not sure if it works out because it's at the current moment, so to speak. And we just continue if we get further signals like this one. Yeah, we get this one. And this one was actually the one I traded myself just to test it and also provide it to the group. To say, not as a trade, but to say, let's have a look how it works out. Oh, come on. You can see you have an indication, you have a break of a black dot, and then you have an indication here for an order block, which is a kind of obvious one. So you could take this one, it's the extreme. And you have an inside bar as well. So I also highlighted this one. It's not a inside bar as per definition. However, I would highlight it as well. And you have entry 1, entry 2 if you want to, or you only go for the extreme. This one would not have worked out. The highlighted one would have worked out. So far so good. And then we have another indication here. Did this one break any structure? Actually no, structure was only broken here. But this one is anyways a more, let's say, difficult structure. You would have to have a look what's happening next in order to react. But you can see here as well, there's a few order blocks highlighted, which you could trade by themselves if you want for kind of re-entries. This one would have worked out. This one would not have worked out. Liquidity taken, inducement, and so on. Broke structure, perfect. So you have another order block highlighted, which is quite big. So it's not really interesting, but on a lower time frame, maybe it would work. You have another order block highlighted here, but this one, you know, did not is in a premium area, so it's not interesting at the moment, and so on. But this is how we want to help you with indicators, but we don't want you to rely on indicators in the future. We want you to understand market structure. And still we try to help you wherever we can. But also we don't want to raise wrong expectations. And we hope you understand that. Anyways, thank you, that's it. We read each other in the Starseed FX group.